Hello and welcome to the Book Bunch. My name is Sam. It is so great to have you guys here for another video. This one is very exciting and unexpected for me because I have actually been tagged in a book challenge or a booktube challenge, I guess you'd say, by Celestia. I will leave a link to her channel down below, so please go check out her video. She's also a fellow Christian booktuber, so yeah, definitely go check her out. I have had to postpone the video that was intended for today to next week because I just had to get this one in here because it was so exciting to me. But before we get into this, I'd just like to give a little shout out to a local business that I found recently on Instagram through one of my friends because she knows the owner, and I got this beautiful package. I bought it myself, it's not sponsored or anything, but I thought I'd share it to you as fellow book lovers because I'm absolutely in love. So the company's name is Poppy Knots, which is super cute. Poppy Knots Creative Studio. You can find them on Etsy. I will leave a link for them down below as well. And guys, look at this little package I got. It is so cute. So it's all wrapped nicely in this super beautiful little wax seal tag. How cute is that with my name on it? It's so beautiful. I'm going to keep that forever. And then a little thank you note with her details. There's some links and things, so check that out. I got a couple of minties and some beautiful confetti. And then look guys, so this is what I bought. It is a bookmark that is a sunflower, which I love sunflowers, so I thought this was super cute, and I love hand crocheted things. For Mother's Day, my husband actually bought me a crocheted bouquet. Look at this. This is so cute, guys. You need to go get yourself one. I believe she does do other designs every now and again, so just keep an eye out. But it is so cute, and it's my new favorite bookmark, and I thought I would give her a little shout out because I feel like you should support people that you like when you find them. So there you go. There's my little shout out. But now onto the book tag. So here we go. Okay, so the book tag is called the 54321 Book Challenge, and it is 5 questions, and each of them involves the number. So the first one is 5 books that are 5-star recent reads or 5 of my favorite books. So I've chosen to go with the 5-star most recent reads, I guess you'd say. There is one there that's just a favorite. I wouldn't necessarily say that I read it recently because it's a couple of months ago now, but all the others are very recent reads. So here we go. The first one is going to be the one that I read a few months ago that is now my all-time favorite, and I'm going to bring this up whenever I possibly can because it's awesome, and I have a whole video dedicated to it, and I cry, so go watch it. But it is the Wing Feather Saga. I always want to say Wind Feather instead of Wing Feather because I'm just silly and can't say things properly. But this is a series by Andrew Peterson. There are 4 books of the series and then a collection of short stories as well. This is the first one. This is the Dark Sea of Darkness. I recommend the whole series. It is phenomenal. It is not just for children, so please pick it up and read it. In my opinion, it far surpasses Narnia and Lord of the Rings and any of those classics, so go pick it up now. It is so good. But this follows a trio of siblings that are all different ages, the eldest being 12, and he is this older brother who's trying to protect his siblings and has been kind of given this, I don't know, this task to look after his siblings, I guess, because he's the eldest, and he tries to take it seriously, but his siblings keep getting themselves into trouble, and then he feels responsible, and it's this whole thing. And they live in a world that has been overrun by this guy named Nag the Nameless, and he has created these beings called the Fangs of Dang, and they are these evil lizard-like humanoid creatures that terrorize all of the citizens of this land. And yeah, it's a whole crazy adventure. There's royalty involved and a lot of on the run craziness and some wild creatures and all sorts of things, so go check it out. The next book I'm going to put on this list is this one. This is very outside of my comfort zone, this book. This is The Phone Book at the Edge of the World, and this is a tearjerker for sure. It is I would consider it contemporary fiction. I'm not sure if that's actually what it's considered to be, but that's what I'm saying it is. It is, yeah, like I said, well out of my comfort zone because I don't normally read this kind of thing, but I truly do recommend you go pick it up. It is about the survivors, or like almost a fictional retelling of what happened to the survivors of the tsunamis that hit Japan a few years ago, and talks about their grief and how they deal with that, losing their loved ones, the trauma that comes with that, all of that, by going to this garden that is kind of on the edge of this like cliff, I guess you'd say, where there's this old phone box that isn't connected to anything but the wind. And these people go to this phone box in this guy's garden and they talk on the phone to their loved ones who've passed away and basically talk out their grief, and they use it as a kind of therapy, I guess, to connect with their loved ones and just be at peace with what's happened, and yeah, allow them to work through all of that and still remember their loved ones and, I don't know, honor them, I guess, is the whole thing. And they don't have to have been people from the tsunami, like the main girl that we follow, she is, but then she meets other people who go to the phone box for unrelated things. Like they don't necessarily have to be from that, it can be from other forms of grief or anything. But yeah, it's really beautiful, really touching. The way it's written is almost a bit reminiscent of poetry in areas, and yeah, I really recommend it. I read it so fast, like it looks really thick, but I actually read it in an afternoon because it just flows so quickly. But yeah, definitely go check that one out. Mark of the Raven, and I know this is a cliche in the Christian fiction world, but it is just so good and it is worth the 5 out of 5 stars. So this one is a Morganelle Bussey book. I hadn't read any of her stuff before picking this one up, and I love it. It is so good. I have since read Romanov and Forks. I still think this is better. This one's just so good. And I am waiting for the second one and the third one to come in the mail, but they are taking their sweet time. So instead, I'm just going to reminisce on this one instead. So this follows a girl who is raised in a land where there is 7 kingdoms, and each kingdom has their own gift, and they kind of all rule the country in these separate divisions, so they each have their realm to look after. There's no real governing body apart from the heads of these houses. And she is the heir to one of the heads of the houses, and her family's gift has been kept a secret from all of the other realms for the last 300 plus years, because they thought that the gift had been kind of culled out of this family, but it turns out it hasn't been, and they've been keeping it a secret. And she is the next in line, and she inherits this gift and finds out tragically that this gift is used for evil, and she is not about that, but she has a great internal struggle with herself because she wants to protect her siblings from having to experience what she's experiencing, and she knows that if she walks away from it, then they will be raised to do that evil in her place. So yes, it is a very interesting book. I really liked it. It's so good. You need to go check it out. I'm also popping on here The Story Peddler. I read this week and it is such a good book. I've already ordered the second one because I was taken by surprise by how much I would like this. This follows a girl named Tanwin, who is a peasant girl who has the story peddling gift, which is where they can make these crystalline figures from their stories, where these colored ribbons flow out of their hands and make these beautiful like sculptures that then solidify into this crystal. And she's a peasant, but she wants to be the king's story peddler. She wants to be someone rich and important and not live in poverty anymore. Her parents have passed away, so she's an orphan, and she's just, yeah, sick of being mistreated and poor and having to spend every day trying to survive instead of thriving. So she becomes this story peddler, but she's got to be very careful because the king has outlawed a lot of story peddling. There's only specific stories they're allowed to tell, but the stories themselves have a voice of their own, and she finds herself in trouble pretty quickly and ends up being on the run, and things don't turn out the way that she thought they would, but also do in a kind of sick and twisted way. But yes, it's really interesting. I really, really liked it, and I definitely recommend it. Finally, for my 5 of 5 stars is The Sinking City. I did recently mention this in a video because it is such a good book. I really, really enjoyed it. I don't know how to really describe this apart from it is everything you want a historical, magical, fantasy retelling of Venice to be, I guess. It follows this girl who lives in Venice. She is from nobility, but it is her 16th birthday, and she is being sold off to these evil monster, underwater monster creatures to be the king's bride because he wants to breed a mix of human monsters so that they can come on land and take over Venice. Her dad did sell her off as a bargain 20 years prior, before he even knew she was going to be born, because he thought maybe it would never happen. And yes, she becomes, I guess, on the run, I guess, because she fakes her own death to get out of it. However, she's still being hunted down because there is a magical mark on her arm that is kind of telling these monsters where she is and that she is still alive. So she becomes a magician's apprentice to try and find the spell to get rid of the mark on her arm so that she can be free. It's a whole thing. It is so good. I really recommend it. If you like historical magic retellings, I don't even know what the word is for that, but whatever that genre is, where it's like set in the past, in the real world past, but it's not our past, it's like an alternate reality past, you know what I mean? Because there's like magic and stuff. I don't know. If someone can tell me what that genre is, please do. But yes, definitely recommend The Sinking City. So then the next part of the tag is for auto buy authors. So these are 4 authors that if I saw their book or heard their book announced, I would automatically purchase. So I'm going to be cliche and say Brandon Sanderson because although I have found 1 or 2 books here and there that aren't clean, 99% of his works are, and they are all almost always 5 stars, if not 4.5 stars. He's just a brilliant writer, and I do really like him. I am disappointed that I have uncovered a few of his that aren't all that friendly, but I still will always give him the benefit of the doubt and buy his books. I'm also going to say Christine Cohen, which is the author of The Sinking City, because the way she writes, the way she captivated me with that story, beautiful, love it. I have already got her other book, The Winter King, on my wish list, and I can't wait to pick it up. I also am going to put Andrew Peterson on the list. He is the one that wrote the Wing Feather Saga. He's a brilliant writer. I do know he does some non-fiction, but I haven't had the opportunity to read any of those yet, so I'm going to dabble in that as well. Even though non-fiction's not my huge favorite genre, I still like to read them here now because they do give you good life lessons and spiritual lessons and all the rest of it. So I'm going to try those out of his. But if he ever brings out any more fantasy, 100% buying that straight away. And my 4th person would be Richard Osmond, who seems like a random one to have on here. He is the one that wrote The Thursday Murder Club. I love that series. I don't know if you consider it to be 100% clean or not. It kind of depends on where your sensitivities are, but it doesn't seem to bother me with like what it talks about and everything. It is a crime fiction series that is also a comedy, and I absolutely love it. It's so good. It follows these 4 old people from a retirement village that solve crimes, and it is absolutely hilarious. And there is one girl in it. Her name is Joy. She's one of the old women, and she writes like diary entries throughout part of the books, and they are hilarious. They are exactly like if your grandmother wrote a diary entry. It's so perfect and so funny. So yes, whenever I see that another book from that series has come out, because he hasn't written any other books at this stage, I always pick them up and pre-order them. So yes, they are my 4. 3 genres I love is the next one. So I love fantasy, obviously, sci-fi, obviously. Sci-fi is actually my favorite, but I find that harder to find good books in than fantasy. And then my third one, I'm going to say heists. I know that's probably technically a sub-genre of like crime and stuff, but I would say heists, whether that be like realistic heists or whether that be like fantasy heists, like Mistborn is like a fantasy heist, anything like that in that kind of heist esque genre, I guess I would say I really like. And as a little bonus, I'm going to say that whatever that historical fantasy genre is, I'm really enjoying that at the moment as well. So technically that's a 4th, but shh, we don't need to tell anyone. And then number 2 is 2 places I love to read. Honestly, I can only really give you one for this because it's any couch that I can find. I don't get to read in many places except for just random places around my house because I have a 1-year-old and I don't have any transportation outside of my house. So I don't get to go out to nice parks or anything to read, although I'd love to do that. It's just not on the cards for me at the moment. So if I can find a nice comfy couch anywhere in the house, I will sit down and read. I would even maybe say my bed, but I tend not to read there very often just because like I can't really watch my daughter if I'm in a different room. So yeah, any couch is what I'm going to say for that. And then number 1 is a book that I promised to read soon. I am going to leave this open a little bit because I'm going to specify an author and then give you 2 books that I'm tossing up, and then you guys need to let me know what one to read. So I want to read a Frank Perriti book. I think that's how you say his name. He is the one that wrote This Present Darkness and The Oath. I have both of them. I don't know what one I want to read first. So let me know in the comments below. Vote for me what one you would prefer me to read soon. I won't read it next, but it will definitely be in the next couple of weeks. So let me know what one you prefer to see me try first, if you have a preference over the 2, because I'd love to know. But that is my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 tag. I am now going to tag a couple of my favorite Christian Christian fantasy, not necessarily, just Christian fiction fellow booktubers. I'm going to tag some. One is Chantel Reads All Day. I love her channel. She is super awesome and I would love to be her real friend in real life. So I'm tagging her here for you. So the link will be below. I'm going to tag Oshina got to read them all. I don't know the little phrase at the end, but I'll tag her below so you can see what I'm talking about. It's a Pokemon reference, but I am not a huge Pokemon person. So yeah, it's like a play on words for that. But yeah, go check out her channel. She's really cool. And then Gloria Z Thompson, I just found her channel the other day through Chantel, and she has an awesome channel. So definitely go check her out. She does cute little like trips to her free little libraries and all sorts of things, and she's just fun and bubbly, and I love to watch her as well. So they are my 3 tags. Obviously they don't have to do it if they don't want to or if they don't see this video, but yeah, I really enjoyed doing it, so I hope they do as well. And that's it, everybody. Have a great week. I'm sorry this ended up being much longer than I thought it would be, but I will see you in the next video. Bye!